In this video, we're going to be taking a very close look at the AOYI MECH LS18 Silver Phantom Interstellar Series MPM KO Jazz. This is a long name, but a beautiful figure and a very close accuracy to the actual MPM. So by all means, let's get into the review. And what's up, Alfonso Nation? Alfonso Peterman here. Welcome back, one and all, to another episode of my Teletraan review series. In this video, we're taking a close look at the Silver Phantom Interstellar Series AOYI MECH LS18 Jazz. This guy is beautiful and absolutely gorgeous, and I got him from Shozy Store. Big thanks to them for sending him my way, and you guys can get him and other figures on that site as well. And this guy, ever since I got him, when I unboxed him, it literally felt like I was unboxing an MPM figure, because that's how close this guy represents the MPM Jazz. And for the packaging, you've got the Silver Phantom Interstellar Series title there with the AOYI MECH badge, and then there he is displayed beautifully. I love the comets in the back and the Earth. It really kind of gives you that Arrival to Earth vibe from the 2007 film. You got the die-cast metal transformation. It's ages 6+. This is called, it says Deformation. There you go. Deformation, and then on the back it's pretty much exactly the same thing, so there's no difference from the front and back. And that's pretty much all for the packaging. It doesn't have a window box, so it doesn't open up. It opens from the top, and I believe he's packaged in the little plastic moldings in here, so it's actually pretty secured in there, and it's really nice. I really like the packaging. I think it is beautiful, and it accurately represents what he looks like, the figure itself, and how close it is to the MPM. So by all means, let's just go ahead and take a look at the figure itself. And here we've got the absolutely gorgeous, oh my god, this is a gorgeous Silver Phantom Interstellar Series. This is a beautiful rendition of the MPM Jazz. It really isn't that far from the actual MPM. There are a few modifications, of course, because of, you know, the branding. You can't really have official logos like the Pontiac. You can't really do certain things that are official with the Hasbro version, but the overall mode, design, and even the paint job is very close to that of the actual MPM Jazz. So here you got a close-up. This is beautiful. The chess mode is very, you know, accurate to what we've seen in the 2007 film. You've got, you know, the silver, it's kind of like a matte silver painting on that with like the red accent for the logo. Beautiful head sculpt. You've got detailings all up into the chest and shoulder area here. The actual shoulders are kind of just the wheels, and it kind of clears away for some articulation. For the abdomen section, you've got some nice detailings there. You've got what it looks like is a license plate, and you've got some pipes and different things with different paint accents on that. Very nice swivel on the waist as well. You've got some nice painting for like the knee pads, I guess you can call them. It's kind of above the knee line because, you know, the knee kind of bends here, but this is like the thigh section. Beautiful painting and detailing on that. And then of course you come down to the feet, and they got those beautiful golden and even like some rose gold accents for the other pipes and things like that. Very accurate and very close to what we saw. So here you go, you got your toe picks. This is your toe picks. It really destroys the Studio series, to be quite honest. I mean, it really brings that Michael Bay Transformers design to life. Beautiful detailing on the back. I mean, look at that. That really folds up into there nicely. It really breaks up. There's a lot of different tiny little pieces that kind of fold into the back, and overall really nice. I'm very impressed with this particular figure. For the accessories, he does come with his signature blaster. Beautiful little blaster. I always enjoyed the Michael Bay Jazz blaster much better than the G1 in my opinion, because I love how there's like a shielding around it, so it's kind of like it accomplishes 2 in 1. It does fold, so you can fold it this way, kind of like that. You just kind of bend it. What I like about it is that you're able to really store it with this mode here, and then you can just kind of flip it out for the actual blaster portion there. It looks really nice. You got some matte silver painting, you know, it's lining up with the actual figure and the gold barrels here that you utilize to actually fire. He also comes with the little abdomen piece, the piece when you split him in half, because yes, he splits in half, which is amazing. The fact that he can do that, he can articulate, he can look that accurate, he can transform, and he can split in half as he did in the film. That's really, really nice engineering with that. But here you got the abdomen piece, nice spinal area with beautiful detailing on that. I love the gold pins to kind of give some breakage of the color, and it looks really, really nice. And then this is the piece you would attach to the abdomen itself, and then there you go. So you got some like wires hanging out and pipes, you know, to kind of simulate a ripped lower piece of the upper chest. So that is that is a nice little touch that you can utilize for displaying him. And the final accessory he comes with is a beautiful, I absolutely love this so much, a gorgeous Sam Witwicky. Even like the face, it's funny because my camera actually has like a face tracking feature, and there's a little square box over his face. Like my camera is detecting the face. That's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, this is very, very nice. He is really sculpted really, really well. Like if you get all of the MPMs together, you would actually be able to have him with them, and it would really complete the 2007 vibe. You got the all black outfit with the Sam Witwicky, nice hair, then he has that all spark painted in that nice little silver, even with some minor little detailings on that. In hindsight, this is pretty much all of what it comes with, the particular figure, similar to the MPM. It's just basically a KO version of that. Turning over to articulation, Jazz does have a nice range of motion given that his joints are pretty much freed up, and there's ways you can free up more joints for the arms. They do come up like so. It would come up more, but you know, you got a giant shoulder here, and then it does rotate all the way around. You can see what the joint looks like actually. And then the arm can bend upwards like so, almost like a 90-degree bend, pretty standard. And then it can actually go all the way back like that. And the same applies on the other side. He's a symmetrical figure, so one side applies to the other. I really like the hands. The hands are individually articulated for the fingers. Look at that. I mean, that's really, really nice. You've got beautiful detailing in the middle of that, but the fingers have like multiple joints on them, similar to the MPM. You got one joint here, and then you got one joint there. So it's 2 joints per finger, and you can really accomplish some of the kind of like the packaging has there. You can accomplish some dynamic poses. For the legs, you do have hip skirts that you can actually move upwards, and it does clear up some space for the leg to come all the way out like this. So you got some nice range of motion. We know that Jazz, the actual character, has, you know, he's known for his range of motion and his ability to move around, his flexibility. So they really had to bring that to the figure. We also have a hinge right here for like the hip area, which is really unique. The leg can come all the way out. The knee can actually bend upwards like this to achieve, I guess, a weird kick. And then it does go all the way back. Now for the back, I do believe you might have to clear up some sections like this. This little section here, and then it allows it to go back. You may have to like completely, you know, pull it backwards like that, because it does clear up that way, and then you can pull it all the way back. There you go. So he has a very nice back kick, and he has a nice forward kick, and the leg does rotate like so. It doesn't do all the way around, but it does kind of like pivot like that. And then you do have a knee bend. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I might have shown you already. So there's a feet pivot as well. There's a foot pivot, and then I don't believe there's a foot swivel. That's what I was trying to do. But there is a pivot back and forth. So I'm really impressed. The waist also does have a swivel here. And I think the waist goes all the way around. Yep. The waist goes all the way around, so that's really nice. So he's got a really nice range of motion. For this little guy is so nice. You can pull up some beautiful little poses with him. I tried to do the thing where he's like standing on his arm and he's got like his leg in the air like that, but his hands don't lock in place. They kind of like move around, and his arm is a little, it's not like his legs. His legs are much tougher. In hindsight, that's generally kind of how the body articulates, and then of course for the head does rotate all the way around like so, and then you can move his head up and down like that. What I also like is for the head, you can actually remove the blue visor here just by flipping it up like so, and then you can actually see the eyes. That is so freaking cool. And then you just take the visor and then you just flip it under and it folds into the head, and now you can really see the eyes of Jazz, something we haven't really gotten to see in the actual film, but there he is. That's a nice look at his actual face, and that's Jazz's face. It's a very strange looking face. I would definitely keep the visor on, but it is still cool that they allowed this for, you know, like a display option. They allowed the user to basically decide for themselves. And of course, for the moment of truth, you can indeed break him into half. You know, you can get the 2 pieces, and that requires, there is a button on his backside right here. You just hold it down, and when you hold down this button, you just I want 2. So yeah, he actually does break into half, and it works so well. It works so seamlessly. And there you have Jazz, just like that. And you got beautiful way that works. And then you basically just align the abdomen piece, the little spinal piece there. You align it. You gotta apply some pressure to really get it there. I think I got it. Hang on, I gotta align it a little bit better. There we go. And there you go. That's freaking cool. You got him with the abdomen piece as if he's broken in half, and just like parts of his spine was like ripped out. And if you have an MPM Megatron or even an MPM KO Megatron, you can definitely display him in hand. And if you have an Optimus Prime, like a Masterpiece, literally any Michael Bay Optimus that scales with him would be able to carry him, and it looks very, very nice. It really just brings it out. I mean, like, this is absolutely perfect. I mean, they didn't have to do this. They could have allowed him to just have the figure with, like, you know, these 2 guys, but they gave you the option to rip them in half to make it screen accurate, and then they gave you the spinal piece to really bring that presentation to life, so that you get that display quality. I personally like him alive. I prefer him to be alive and not ripped into pieces, so I'm not gonna display him with this abdomen piece. I want to see him with the gun, kind of like, you know, fighting with the Autobots. I would rather him have not died at all and this not be a thing, but because it is, they gave you the option to display that, which I really like. So we're gonna combine him back, because we're not gonna feature a death, because we don't like death of Autobots, you know, Autobot victory. And to reapply it, you do have to hold down that button in the back so that it snaps on well. And now he's back. Now he's alive. He's alive! One of my least favorite things about the figure, because it doesn't actually snap on or tab on. It just kind of slides on. You basically have to straighten out all the fingers and make this like, make something like this, where they're all together and they're forming this arch. And then you literally just align the gun, and then you just slide it on there. And that's it. I mean, it stays on there fairly well, but it doesn't secure. You know, like, it stays on there. It kind of fits in, but it doesn't snap in. I would rather it tab in or snap in for a more secure fit, but it doesn't do that. And that's probably one of my least favorite things about the figure. I'd say that's probably my ultimate least, along with, you know, the shoulders that don't really lock in tightly. I'd say the gun, along with the shoulders kind of just not really staying secure in place. I'd say the blaster not locking in is probably one of my least favorite things. And then it kind of doesn't really, you kind of have to keep it in one place. It's not very firm, in other words. So, but once you apply it, I mean, wow, it looks amazing. I mean, it just really brings out this whole entire design, and I'm a big fan of that. And for some size comparisons to give you an idea of how large or how small he is, here he is with a Studio Series Deluxe figure, that is Studio Series 49, and then here he is with a Voyager class figure, and that being Voyager Optimus for Dark of the Moon. And then here he is with a leader class figure, and that being Studio Series Shockwave. As you can see, compared to the leader class, he's not a big figure. Compared to either of those, he's not a big figure. He really only towers over the deluxe figures. And for an MPM comparison, here he is with MPM Ratchet. And I think this works out. I really do think this is not that far off. This is very close to how we kind of saw him. We didn't see him standing straight next to Ratchet very much, because at the end of the film he was broken in half and he was being held by Prime, so we couldn't see him standing up, so we couldn't really get a really good close-up. But we did see him in the arrival to Earth when they were all in a circle, and it's close to what they look, and they look amazing together. Can I just say how amazing they look together? It is this is an astonishing pair. This is really this is nice. This is awesome. This is awesome. Just kind of give you a sense of scale here. And then Shockwave can go in the back, since he is technically gonna be able to tower over them. So this is essentially what he looks like, along with some other figures, and I'm a big fan of how he fares with the MPM figures, and even some of the MPM KOs. If you get the oversized figures, then he's definitely not going to scale well, obviously, because they're upscaled, they're oversized. But if you get him with the standard MPM figures, it's not going to be too far off. It's not going to be too bad. It's going to actually be the closest that you will get to the actual accuracy of the film. But overall, I'm a big fan of the robot mode. I'm a big fan of the paint job. I'm a big fan of the articulation, the range of motion. I love his accessories. I love the Samwood wiki. That's a big plus for me. And I'm really in love with the overall paint job and aesthetic that Jazz brings to the display shelf. If I had to rate his robot mode on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give this guy a 9.5. I think he's nearly perfect. Of course, there's imperfections, but he's nearly perfect, and I'm a big fan of it. And there he is, transformed fully, and he is in his alt mode. And I just gotta say, in loving memory of my fingers, because it was so difficult to get this guy in a presentable condition, and I finally got him in a presentable alt mode. I will say the transformation itself is actually not bad. It's actually really nice, and the components really kind of flush into it very well. However, it's when you finally get him into the alt mode and you finally get the pieces all lined up, getting them all to compress and tab in, for me, was like the worst. There's tiny little pieces like this piece here and that piece there, and then there's some little pieces like this here where the hood and this piece meet, that little intersection. There's a lot of little pieces that have to be absolutely perfect for you to be able to tab them in, and I had a long struggle trying to get this to work. But ultimately, this is how the alt mode looks. This is a beautiful representation of the Pontiac that he transformed into. I'm a big fan of this. Of course, you're not going to see the actual Pontiac logo on the top, and you're not going to see the license plate in the back, but the sculpt and the painting, everything looks really nice, and it has that very nice matte silver finish, the same as we've seen in the actual film. The tires has this nice white line like along the rims, and the rims are painted black. The tires are hard plastic, they're not rubber, and for the underside you can definitely see some of the legs and some of the pieces. You even see the license plate from the robot mode, so you can definitely see the robot pieces beneath the car, but I never really care about that. One thing I will say with this figure, like you just saw, the little rearview mirror does come out, and maybe that's just my model. It looks like the glue or the plastic, whatever, it doesn't really stay there very well, and that actually is reflective of how some of the other third-party figures are. I know my Black Mamba Ironhide, the rearview mirrors came off quite often, and I had to keep pegging them in, so I'm probably going to put some super glue into that and then just really secure it in so it never comes out. This one has never fallen out yet, but this one has been since I transformed it. You got the grill piece there with the little like ventilation holes. You got some of the floodlights here looking good. You got the headlights, actually has some detailing in that, and it looks like a legitimate car headlight. The hood is nice. I like the little detailings on this here. You even have the gas pump holder there. You got some more little ventilation pieces, little black detailings here, and then you got the nice spoiler with the nice curvatures and the different detailings here. And also a nice touch I like is that the windows are actually tinted. So it's not like a clear plastic for the Pontiac where you would see all the components inside. They've tinted these windows, so you don't see a lot of the components, so it really kind of helps conceal all of the kibble and the the other pieces for the robot for the alt mode to look more accurate. For the sake of weapon storage, it's not really the best, but for this here, of course, this would be the weapon mode where you would actually peg his hands in. To store it for the car mode, you basically just rotate this piece, kind of like so, and it just kind of compresses on the back like that, and it kind of forms this little thing here. And the abdomen piece, like the literal spine, does peg in. You got the two holes and you got these two pegs here, and you do have to line them up just like that, and it does kind of come together, and that's a thing. I don't know if this is supposed to resemble like a stealth mode pieces. I don't know. It's literally his spine, but you know, how to each his own. Then there's a hook right here, and then it hooks onto the back of the spoiler, like so. I'm actually glad they gave you an option to put the abdomen piece somewhere instead of it being like an extra piece. They allow you to peg it into the blaster to give it like a, I don't know, like a, I mean, I guess an effect that it's like, you know, flying in the wind when you're driving, because it's, you know. But if you so decide, which I might do if I leave them, I might leave it just like that, where you got like just a gun aiming towards, and it just kind of stops here. It looks more like that's a car mode, stealth mode weapon for the weapon storage, but I'm glad they gave you the option to do something with this extra piece. But overall, I love it, and it represents the character very well, and it did a really good job at giving you an alternative to the MPM. If you guys want to get this guy, I will leave a link in the description box below that I can find at the time of recording this. Once again, big thanks to Shoji Store for sending this my way. If I had to rate this guy in his alt mode, I would have to say that given everything that we've discussed, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. I think that's a fair rating considering it's a third party, and some of the different, you know, tiny little adjustments or little details they can't really do because it's third party, so it kind of minimizes its advantage over the MPM. But in general, I think it is a really, really nice figure, and I love Sam Witwicky. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Got more content on the way. And without further ado, thanks for watching. This is your Teletraan reviewer, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Till all are one.